Looks like these ponies are having a great time at karaoke. Hey every pony, I'm Golden Notes, and now's the perfect time to introduce you to the brand new update of my game, My Little Karaoke. The team and I have been working hard to bring you a lot of new content, including more than 100 new songs for you to enjoy. The game engine has also been massively updated to bring new features, such as duet songs. I love this one! Online leaderboards, avatars, extended party modes, difficulty per player, a jukebox to enjoy the song library, and even more! We've also made installing and running it much easier. The game runs on Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and best of all, it's completely free! So don't wait any longer. Head over to My Little Karaoke to download it and join the fun!
Do not be afraid, we will never fade. Revolutionary word, and you will see.
Aww.
Welcome everyone to the My Little Karaoke panel today. My name is Rainbow Derpy, and you are...
I'm Dex, and I'm Smiley.
It's nice to have you all here today. What we are going to talk about today is the project My Little Karaoke itself, what we use as software, and also how to create songs. And if you actually created your own songs, how you can get them into the game and get the lyrics and all the stuff done. So we also give you an introduction to the Ultrastar Deluxe engine, which we develop and also then use for the game. And we also present all the new developments in karaoke software. And we can also show you how to actually participate in the project. So what is My Little Karaoke actually? Well, it's a singing game which is quite similar to SingStar, which you might know from PlayStation. It's made by Sony, and our game tries to have the same philosophy that you sing in the microphone, and on the screen you see the lyrics and the video. And from that, then you also get live feedback where you see whether you're singing the correct notes or not. And the goal is to sing the notes as good as possible so you get higher notes and you win against other people who also sing. So about the My Little Karaoke project, we started in 2012. At first it was only a few separate songs, so there was already that karaoke engine called Ultrastar Deluxe, and basically they only set up the MP3 files and the video files and the text for it. There was no installer or anything yet, and you had to do everything by yourself. And now we are the leading developers of the Ultrastar Deluxe karaoke engine, and we have 470 different songs, and from those songs you have a normal, duet and instrumental modes. So we are quite a big team, but how do we actually get paid? Well, we get paid usually weekly, and it's quite nice because the way we get paid is that we get 5 to 10 links of DeviantArt images of derpy hooves. And as everyone knows, images of derpy hooves make very happy. So yes, we are an international team. So for example, in France we have a project leader who sort of coordinates everything. We have software development of the Ultrastar Deluxe engine in France and in Germany. The My Little Karaoke website is actually hosted on a server in Canada, and there's also the online leaderboard and all the neat stuff. And about everywhere in the world, there are ponies everywhere who prepare the songs and then they upload them somewhere so they can get into the game. So how does it actually work? The game itself, if you go on if you just launch it and you say you want to play it, then there's a big window which opens, and that's the Ultrastar Deluxe engine. Basically, you feed this engine with all the song files, with the lyrics and the timing, which word has to be sung at what moment. And so this engine actually is open source software, and it's free. It's about 90,000 lines of code, so it's quite complex. And it's also written in Free Pascal, or which you might know as Delphi. But we changed it a lot, and that evolved a lot, so it's also object-oriented. And so if you know any Delphi, maybe from school, or if you actually code software there, feel free to maybe contact us, because we are searching for more developers. So let's...
Right. Now a little bit about how the game actually works. Oops. What you see right now is the content of one of the folders. The songs in the game are separated by folders. One folder equals one song. And what you can find in these folders, when you look at them, it looks like this. There's the background, the cover, which are the images you see in the game. There could be a video, which is the video that gets played when you play the game. This can be switched on or off. You can use the background or the video, or there is a visualizer, like you may know it from Windows Media Player and stuff like this. It looks the same. Then there's the song itself. If you have the instrumental version, then there's the instrumental version as well. And then there are files called notes, or instrumental. And those are files which actually contain everything that goes on in the song itself. They look a little like this. What you see here is from the song Join the Herd. The top part is notes and headers, which say, for example, what's the name of the song, who made it, who created the song file, which MP3 to use for the song, what to use for the cover, for the background, the speed of the song, and other technical details. And then, underneath it, what you can see are the lyrics themselves, split so that they contain the data of the notes, how long they are, when they start, what pitch they are, how they are split, and so on. And this is basically what goes on in the game itself. When you sing, you just go through this file and sing these notes, and the program then evaluates whether you sang it correctly or not.
So in our newest version, we have over 100 new songs, and the good thing is, and this is Rainbow Derpy's contribution to this project mainly, that he has resurrected the old Ultrastar Deluxe engine and added a whole slew of new features. That was all the stuff, duet mode. We will get into all that a bit later. And it's now, the installation is much faster and much easier to use.
So yes, we actually took the Ultrastar Deluxe engine, which was an open source project, as I said already, and the source code for it was available on SourceForge. But the project sort of died around 2011, and so the game started to not work anymore on Windows 8 and Windows 10, for example, and also the standards it used for graphics and so on were really old, so it was really getting hard to actually use it without it having crashing every time and every 10 minutes or whatever. So we decided to resurrect it, and we then implemented new features like the jukebox. You can actually also play with 6 players now. Before you could also before you could only play with 3 players, and there's also this online leaderboard. So if you finish singing a song, you can actually submit your scores, and you can see it on an online website, and you can compare it. So there is the player screen, which is new. You can have up to 6 players, as I said, and you can, for each player you can set a color, an image, the name, what difficulty it should have, And the neat thing is this is completely open, so if you go to the song folder, you can put in your own OC image or whatever, and you restart the game and it will appear there. We have a lot of new screen, or we actually also improved the graphics, how it looks. So before, the whole game was only shown as a 480p, so in low resolution. And if you were looking on it on, for example, a 4K monitor or full HD monitor already, it looked really blurry and not that good. And now it actually has the full resolution of your screen. And for example, the cover images are shown with the original resolution. They're not scaled or anything, so it looks a lot better and sharper. There's also lots of new song selection views. For example, you know maybe the original roulette view where you can just go right and left, and now there's also this chessboard view where you can sort of like, you see a couple of songs already, and it's a lot easier to choose the one that you want to sing, and then you just click on the one song. And this is also another one. And we also changed the theme. Before it was looking quite old, and now it's a lot more sleek and modern. And also the text is a lot easier to read now. There is an experimental tournament mode. You can, for example, play it as a group of up to 12 players, and you split into maybe groups of 3 people or 4 people, or you can have each person on itself, and then you sort of have like the, in the My Little Pony Equestria Girls, you had this quite similar, how was it called? Battle of the Bands, yes. So this is sort of like the Battle of the Bands. And in the jukebox mode, you can just enjoy the music. You open it, and then you, for example, search for Black Griffin or whoever, and just hit enter, and you can listen to your nice music. And it will also show the video and the lyrics, but you will not get any feedback on whether you're singing good or not.
It is also a good thing for parties or when you want to listen to this at home. I know I use this. I use the random selection feature because I already have my Little Karaoke installed, so I don't need to download tons of new songs from everybody from everywhere to play them. I just open this and it plays the video, plays the song, and I can relax and do whatever I like. Yeah.
There's also a new party mode where you would compete as groups. And as each group, you would then play a couple of rounds, and the team that wins most of the rounds then wins. And the rounds are unique because some of them, for example, the group wins who hits 1,000 points at first. Or there's also a hardcore mode where you don't see anything on the screen except for the video, so you have to know the lyrics and the notes and so on by head. And there are a few other modes like this.
So what you need for the game is 1 to 6 microphones. These can be USB, but you can also use jack plug-in microphones. You need a computer. Pretty much any computer that's newer than 2006 has all the technical requirements, except maybe a bit of storage space on your PC, because that's a bit hefty with 14 gigabytes right now and still rising. But the thing is, we have all the songs, all the videos in HD quality, so that's the main thing that takes its toll. The program itself is around 30 megabytes. Yeah, you need speakers to actually listen to the songs, well, and yeah, people who want to sing.
So we really are searching for new people to contribute to the project. We definitely need, on one side, we need the permission from songwriter and video creators. So if you, for example, have a wish that your favorite song from Black Griffin or whoever gets into the game, you could already help us by, on one side, we need a video and the lyrics and so on, but also you could maybe contact whoever wrote that song and ask them for permission. It should, in the best case, be a written permission, and then you just ask them. Usually, most of them say, yeah, just do it. And Also, we need the Pony to prepare songs for the game. So later on, we will show you how to actually put in all the timings of the notes and what pitch you have to hit and so on. We also need more software developers because we have an installer, we have all the websites, we have the leaderboard and so on. And that's quite a lot of work, and we are all working on this in our free time. So if you do software development in either something like Delphi or C#, or if you know how to do good Linux install scripts, then no problem. Then please contact us, and it's really a lot of fun to work as an open group because everyone gets to do what they like the most. No one is forced to do anything. So, as we said in the beginning of this year, in April, we also released a new version. With the new version, we released a new installer. Basically, before you had to download either the DVD images, which were ISO files, and you had to burn them, for example, on a DVD and then install from there. Or you could, in Windows 7, just double-click them and then install them. But you had to install DVD 1 and DVD 2, 3, 4, and so on. And now you basically just get this installer from our website. You click on the install game button, and it does all the rest for itself. It downloads the music, the songs, and so on.
So now we come to the initial part of the presentation, how to create a song. And the first things you need are the tools that we use. So first of all, you need USDX, so Ultrastar DX, but you already have that. If you downloaded the game, the My Little Karaoke game is USDX. And you can also use it. It's totally accessible for everyone, so it's no extra developer mode or anything. USC is the Ultrastar song creator. If you have a song and the lyrics, but you want to have a rough image that you can start working with, then you need USC. And Yes combines both the Ultrastar DX and USC features and has some pretty nifty things too. So if you want to use that alternatively, then you can also use it.
There are many more tools out there, but these are the ones we, or at least I think me and Smiley use. So that's what we will be presenting. Of course, you can find many others out there. You're free to use them as well. As you see there, the best approach is to use what you like the best.
So what do you need when you have all these tools? You need the song. You need an MP3. Well done. You need the lyrics, as it's easiest if you have a text image of them. So normally on the YouTube videos that contain these songs, you can also find the lyrics most often, or if not, you can ask the creators themselves. You don't actually need, but it's much neater if you have background images and cover art. The song creation tools that we have just mentioned, and a lot of time, especially in the beginning. So I've worked it down that I can do a 2 minute 30 song in around an hour and a half. But it's for someone who is only just starting, count in one solid day of work for your first song, if you want to have it in good quality.
All right, and what do you do then when you have all these things? Well, basically, this is what I'll be showing you in a demo in a minute, is that first you want to take the lyrics, split them into syllables, and then do a rough timing, which is what the USC tool is for. Then, via USDX, or some other tool if you like, you do the precise timing, which means you take the notes and make them exactly as long as they should be, make them start exactly when they should and end when they should end. You set the pitch so that they would, when the singer sings a D, then the note would be a D. And then add additional features, which are for Ultrastar things like golden notes, which are selected notes which give you double the points, or mute notes, which are notes which you can't sing but you still see them on screen. and then you use yes for cleanup, because it has a feature which automatically detects errors, like when you do a line break on the wrong place, or when you have too many of golden notes, or stuff like this. You do the cleanup, and then when it all works, you try it, and then you can submit it to the MLK team. The submitting is done via our forums on mylittlekaraoke.com/forums, I believe. You just start a new thread about the song, put in what you have, put in the song file, link to the song, and if everything goes all right, then the song will be added to the game at some point. So, now for the demo.
What do you need?
And folder USC. All right, we'll start by USC. As I told you, I'll just find the song. The song we'll be doing is Sky and Me from the Wasteland Whalers. This is just a short excerpt. It is about 20 seconds long, 17 seconds long. I cut it because it would take quite a lot of time to do the whole song, and we don't really have like hour and a half for this panel. So I'll just play what we have right here.
You know the view is best from up top, and the zero-G feels so angelique. The world seems so graceless, but getting near weightless is the only way I'm complete.
All right, so this is it. It is actually sung by Anneli Heat, which is here, so that's nice. So we'll be taking the short version, probably. I got one which is longer, but I think this will be enough. We'll take a look at the lyrics. These are the lyrics as I copied them from the YouTube video. You can see that there is a lyrics thing and verse 1, which is something you don't really want, but we'll get to that. What you do when you have the lyrics and the song is that you start up USC, UltraStar Song Creator, and this basically tells you, this little helpful elephant tells you what to do, where to put stuff, and everything. So first you select the MP3, which should be right here. Demo short. It automatically detects the BPM and other stuff. You can add in things like title. Come on.
While he does that, a little bit about the BPM. That's the beat per minute. That shows you how many options you have within a minute to change the pitch. The more, the better. So 400 is about a good cleanup between, a good shake-up between quality and workability.
Yes. So now what you do is you take the lyrics, you can just copy them and paste them into UltraStar Creator. What you see here is a little bit of information about how to work with the lyrics, because what you need to do right now is to split the lyrics into syllables so that the game would know where each note is. What you can do right here is delete this and paste the lyrics in. No, sorry. You don't need the things like lyrics in verse 1, you just need the lyrics themselves. And what you do right now is you split it. As was written down there, the splitting is made by the plus sign, which splits words into syllables, and then there's the tilde sign, which is for sliding. I don't know if we have some here, but if we do, I'll show you. So you just go like this. You can play the song too, if you want.
You know the view is best from up top.
Like this. The first line is like only one syllable words, which is easy, you don't have to do anything. Then the second line is, and the zero is two syllables. So where is the plus sign? Oh, thank you. So 0 like zero. You do need to know a little bit about the language the song is in to be able to do this. Because if you don't speak English, then you obviously don't know how to split English syllables. Angelic, which is an, ch. then lick. The world seems so graceless, grace and lace. But get in, near weightless, like this. It's the only way I'm complete.
Only?
Oh, thank you. You would notice this when you played it back. It would show you that there's... Oh, yes. Own and Lee. Come and bleed. Like this. Now that you have the lyrics split, what you have to do is to do a rough timing so that the game would know about where the notes are located. But how do you do that is by clicking this play icon down there in control, and in this tab area down here, you will see those syllables as you split them come up, and by tapping the spacebar, you would tell the game where the notes are located. Pretty much like this.
You know the view is best from up top, and a zero-G feels so angelique. The world seems so graceless, but getting near weightless is the only way I'm complete.
And you have it. It asks you if you think this was good or not. You can try again, you can save the file. If you choose to save the file, you will be presented with the save file dialog. I'll just name this notes and save it. And what you see right here at the right side is the actual AltraStar file as it will look like. Right now you can see that there are some information at the top, which is what you entered on the left side. Then there are the lyrics split and roughly timed, and you can see this 0 at the end, which is the pitch, which we have set to 0, a C4, which is something you would be changing then afterwards in the AltraStar itself. So now that we're done with AltraStar Creator, we can close it. We've got the song file. We can close this as well. And we've got the notes. Now what we want to do is open this in AltraStar Deluxe or My Little Karaoke and do the precise timing and set the pitch, for which we need to take. I'll just check in with the notes. Yeah, it says the MP3 is called this, so we'll need this MP3 and the notes.txt file, and we put it into the My Little Karaoke. Let's use this here. In My Little Karaoke, in the folder, which you open by clicking the icon and selecting Open the Containing Folder, or you go to Program Files, find your My Little Karaoke folder, and there's a folder called Songs, which obviously contains all the songs. What I'll do here is I'll make a new file, call it Work, and I'll put what I just did into a new folder called Sky and Me. Now I'll just take the notes and the MP3. What we have here then is the cover image and the background image, which we will use later. But now we will focus on this. Right now, what is set in the work folder in the songs, we can start up My Little Karaoke, and in theory, it should pop up as a new song. We'll see whether that happens. Yeah, test, 1, 2, 3.
The other one is set to 1.
Yeah, set channel to 1.
Yes.
And now for 1.
Okay. Yes. No. That's it.
Now everything. Sorry. Yes. And
You
me.
know the
And it
view
pops
is
up.
best from up top, and a zero-G feels so angelique.
So this is what you see. If you try to play this song, you will be presented with something like this, which is just a whole bunch of notes which are C and are timed just roughly. So what you want to do is to make this look like a real song, which can be playable, and this is done by pressing the E key when the song is selected for edit, and you'll be presented with this. This is the edit mode, or the song creation mode, where you can see all the information we set in USC, the title, the artist, other stuff like BPM, gap, and then you can see the notes placed on a grid, where if you move them left and right, you're changing the position when they are in time, and if you move them up and down, you're changing the pitch. Sure. This is done by the Shift key. You hold the Shift key and then press the arrow keys. Like, you hold the Shift key, press right, and the note moves to the right, left, it moves to the left, up, you increase the pitch, down, you decrease the pitch. You can see the pitch right there where it says tone. Now it says 0 C, now it's C sharp, now it's D, now it's D sharp. What I usually do when I'm at home and creating songs is that I take out my piano and have it with me so I can play the notes as they are in the song and see what pitch they are. But if you don't have a piano, that's fine as well, because you can use your microphone to sing. I'll check, oh yeah, it works. Right there, you can see the yellow text which says which note the microphone is picking up. So like, you know the view. You can see that it said C, I think it was C, F, C, C. C, yeah. So you can just do this if you can sing, or there's one more feature which you can use, and that is that by clicking the note by the mouse, you hear the singer sing it, and then you hear the note played as well. So now let's do the timing of the notes so that they are correctly placed. If you press the spacebar, the note which you have selected plays. If you press the P key, then the whole line plays. And it clicks, which indicates the starts of the note. So if you have a sense of rhythm, you can see that the note is off or not. Then there's the Shift P key, which plays the pitch only, without the song and without the clicking. Right now it's just plain C. So let's start. You want to find the start of the note and the end of the note, and you want to drag it to be as long as the note the singer sings. This is done by the Control and Alt keys, where the Control key selects the start of the note, and then by left and right you move it left and right, the start, and then the Alt key selects the end of the note, and again by left and right you make it longer or shorter.
Just for your information, on the My Little Karaoke website, there's also a help section where you can look up all those short keys, so you don't have to remember them all today.
Yeah, there is also an awesome tutorial by Smiley. I wanted to mention this at the end. On the forums, if you go to the community resources section, I believe, then there's a pin post at the top which says song creation tutorial or something like this. There are multiple of them, multiple threads with advices, what to do, what not to do, how to work with different programs. Basically, how I learned this is from Smiley's tutorial. So it's really good. I advise you to read this even if you think you remember everything from this talk. Yes, a question?
For use your entire piano to play the notes. So when it's like when installed 3D cable with piano, does it work instantly or set up something?
Yeah, Ultrastar doesn't have support for piano, to play the piano in it. What I do is, we might do this in the future. What I do is, I've got a MIDI piano, like USB MIDI piano. So I open up Ableton Lite, set up the piano there, and just play it via the Ableton while this is running.
And then you compare the sound like.
Yeah, I listen to it. This sounds right. This sounds off key. So basically, what you do is you move the note as long as you move the note until you can see that the note starts exactly when the singer starts singing. So right now, you hear that it starts much earlier, because the song starts playing much earlier. So you move it a little bit back. And now we should be about right. You can hear that when yeah?
One thing about the first note is you see the start displayed up here. Do you want to note that later a bit?
I will be showing them. This is basically when a note starts at a minus value, that is an error, and the Ultrastar, the Little Karaoke, might not actually play this back correctly. And this is one kind of error which we can then later fix using yes. So we don't really have to worry about this. You can adjust this manually and like move all the notes to the right so that they wouldn't be in a minus value, adjusting the gap. But you can also just let this be and worry about it later with yes. So I'm lazy, so I will let it be and let yes fix it for me. If you prolong the note a lot, you can hear that it continues over it. And what you want to do is reach the end of the note, and if the notes are closely after each other, like you want to leave at least one beat of space in between. There's also a thing, if you have a song with low BPM, like 200, or have you talked about it already?
No. Yeah, just a bit, but...
If you have a song which has like 200 or 100 BPM, then what you want to do is double the BPM for the mesh, so that you can align the notes more precisely, which is, I think, Control M.
Yes.
Or Control Shift M. Shift M. Yeah, it's Shift M. Now you see the BPM has grown to 800, and the mesh has doubled. I can go even more to 1,600, and it gets crazy. And then,
if you have those high BPM numbers, then you have to adjust a lot, and it takes like years to finish the song.
Yeah. And then, if you're unhappy with having 1,600 BPM, you can just, by Shift D, divide it back to 800 and to 400. Yes?
I'm thinking about that. What's the time range of final karaoke? So, let's say I make my own music, and so I know the exact BPM number of the song. If people could use that number,
Yes, you can enter the number manually into the song file or in USC. Like USC tries to detect the BPM for you. Sometimes it does it correctly, sometimes it might fail. And if you notice that the BPM isn't what it should be, you can manually overwrite it.
okay.
So, we try it like this. And when we hear the exact start of the next note, then we know that about where this ends, the note would begin, and then we leave one space, like this. We have U. So we move on to the next note, and have it like... And we hear that no starts right here. And as I said, we want to have one space in between, so we adjust the note before that, and we have... Yeah. We don't want to make it deaf.
A bit to the right, because...
This one, or?
The D.
D? Yes. You can hear there's a little pause at the beginning, so now it's better. And you basically go like this until the end of the song. I don't have much more to say other than like finishing it, so if anybody of you wants to say something. Yeah, I'll do the pitches afterwards. We've got 5 lines, so I'll just go ahead and try to finish all those.
I think we should do the first line.
Just do the first line. All right. I thought that this was going to be faster, but I miscalculated. Also, if you have notes like C and S, and like these high-pitched like sounds, then the person can't really sing them well, and the microphone might not pick them up, so you want to cut that off. If you, like here in is, you can hear that she sings is, but you want to make it is, and leave the rest unmarked. Like this.
Here we have another thing, one that Dex has already touched upon a little bit. It's bending. That it is not best, but it's best. So you hear a little bit of cut in that. And best.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is really small, so if you're lazy, you might not really worry about this. But if you're not, and if you want to make this properly, and for the song to be playable even in hard mode, where it's really precise, what you can do is make manual adjustments to the notes and add one more note for this to be a note which is sliding up. Best. And you do that by double-clicking to the place in the note where you think the split should be, like this. And now you have it split. And this tilde sign means that this is continuation of the previous level, which is on a different pitch. So now we adjust it. Like this. And you can see that if you prolong the last note, the whole mesh moves to make space for you.
Okay.
Something like this. What you should do pretty often is save your work, because since this gets long, and if you work on this for 2 hours and then the game crashes or you accidentally switch your computer off or something, then your whole progress will be lost. And saving is done by the S key, as you might have guessed. Just press the S key, file saved. I advise you to do this at least every line you make. Press the S key. It will save you a lot of time in case something happens. So normally I would then, after this line, move to the other lines and time those as well. But since I don't want to bore your living souls out of you, so I will just do the pitch for this line and let you imagine that I finished everything. How the pitch is done is the same as the timing, but you move up and down instead of left and right. And you use the microphone or the piano or whatever else you want to see what pitch the note is supposed to be. What we've tried is singing it and seeing what the pitch was. So if I play this, this looks like a C. We can try a C. C is already there, so we don't have to do anything. If you wanted, you could move this to C in the higher octave, but this doesn't really matter in My Little Karaoke, because the game itself doesn't really care whether you sing it, in which octave you sing it, whether you sing it really high or really low, but it has to be a C. So you can move it up there, you can move it down, but we can also keep it like this, because it's a C already. We'll try out. Next notes. You know the view is... This is just C and Fs, switching one and the other. So this was an F. Let's make it an F. You know the view is, and the is was an F. Best, but this was, I would think best, but since we see that this is a slide, then we'll listen to it. This is so that was an A sharp and then a C. So was it an? Yeah, it was an A sharp. Also, the thing is that if you use the European notation or the other one, then there might be notes called differently. Like you can see here that there's a B/H, and this is A#/B, because the B is used in different notations differently, and this confused me for a while until this was fixed and started using both notations, because first there was only the European notation, which I wasn't used to, so I pitched my songs incorrectly because of that. So we've got best, and let's do the last three notes. I'm not sure about this one. You know the view is best from up top. There's a G and F# changing, but it would be a G because this is, I believe, D minor. I'm not sure about the key, but I think it's supposed to be a G. So what we found out was from was A#, then this was an A, and top was a G. If you do a lot of songs from the same author, then you might find that they use similar notation or similar key in most of their songs. I found out that West novellas do. So usually, when you would be like here in this case, I know that they don't use the G# much. So usually those songs where you're not sure about the G and a G# would be a G. But this is my experience, and it differs author by author. So right now, when you have this all done, you can try playing it to see whether the timing is correct by the P key. You can notice that the clicking is sometimes not really where you would expect it, by a slight time shift, which is because the singer is not a computer, so she does some things a little differently, starts a bit later or a bit earlier, and this will then show up in the clicking if you do it properly. So don't get worried that you did it incorrectly, since if it's not perfectly timed, it's not your fault, it's the singer being interesting and not singing like a computer, so that's completely fine. Now you can try the pitch, which is Shift and P, and you will listen to basically F as if you would play this on the piano. Yeah. And you can hear that this sounds pretty similar. Mm-hmm. So I think that we might have done it correctly. Now, of course, save it again.
Also, an important feature is to have the line endings correctly. So you press the T, which corrects the timings, and then you want to save it.
Yes. Actually, I didn't know about this because I was used to using Yes for doing this for me. But yeah, there are plenty more functions in this, which I might not even know about. So they are described in the help documentation on the website, or you can just stick to the basics like I do and let other tools do the stuff for you. It's up to you. Now that we have this, we can also add some golden notes. Golden notes are notes which are scored by double, as I said, and they're meant to be put to places which are hard to reach or somehow interesting, so that you would motivate the singer to really try and reach there. Right in here, there's not much of like extremely placed notes or something, but we might do, for example, the from up top, because it's like a nice slide down, and the singer might enjoy this being scored by double. So you press the G key and mark the notes as golden. Just select the note, click G, and it becomes a golden note. You should really spare those notes, because if you like make the whole song consist of golden notes, then it wouldn't make much sense. But,
For our songs, it's pretty much somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 points. So around 1,500 is for most songs that we have released.
For each note, you get scored by points in the game, and because the golden notes score double, you get double the points. And as Smiley said, it should be around that range, the additional points you get. Now that we're done with this, we can exit this. We don't want to leave without saving, so we must save.
You know
And
the
we can try to
view
play
is
it.
best from up top. You know the view is best from up top. And zero.
And you saw that it worked.
Is best
Right
from
now-
up top. And
Yeah, I did it. Right now, what you, if you did everything manually, then you would have absolute control over the file, over everything that happens there, and you would be done. But since I did only the basics, the timing and the pitch, and didn't really worry about the things like line endings and starts, what I'll do next is I'll quit my Little Karaoke and start up Yes, which should be right here. Which is a tool which basically combines everything, and you can, you can do anything you like in it. Basically use it instead of USDX and USC and everything, but here you can select Edit, find the correct file. I forgot where I placed it, do you remember? Yeah, program files. And you'll open it, and you'll see a view which is really similar to that in UltraStar, which is like this. The shortcuts work the same. You can press P to play, Shift P, moving notes and everything. But what we want to do right now, because we have already done all this, is this little button here, which is error correction. It shows you a list of problems, which is like the first beat is not null, and the gold bonus is not really what it should be. And you can press correct all errors, or just correct this one. I'll try correcting all errors. There's some more popping up. We can do this multiple times, and you'll see that those errors magically disappear. And you don't have to worry about them anymore. Yes, we know that the gold bonus is not really what it's supposed to be, because we're only adding
One line.
one line. So it's a little bit too, it's a little bit not enough. We can save by the S key. We'll save it and see whether it worked. We'll try my Little Karaoke once more. It might happen that Yes will fail and create additional problems, which you can then fix or try it again. It differs from song to song. Yeah. This is what I should have done in. So we'll look into the edit view, try. It works, everything is fine, but it seems like it removed the golden notes for some reason. So we'll just add them back in. This is why you have to double check what Yes does, because sometimes it's really unpredictable, but it helps a lot if you have like longer songs.
You know the view is best from up top.
And then you're pretty much done with the song itself. You can then again try singing it, which I won't do since we did that already. We'll quit again and do the last piece, which is adding the backgrounds. That is this image, which is the background image, and then this image, which is the cover art. The background image the cover art is 300 times 300 pixels, I think, and the background image could be anything you like, but it's nice to have it like full HD, because most people would play this on up to full HD resolution. There might be some people playing this at 4K, but full HD is usually the way to go, considering the size. So we take these, copy them in, and then we have to link to them into in the song file. I'll name this, and I'll name this, come on, cover. And I'll edit the notes file to link to them. That is done by inserting background and cover, which for some reason are here. That's not really supposed to happen, is it? Because it didn't show up, so it
must have been Yes.
Yeah. Cover is cover and background is background. we'll save it. Usually, not USC and not USDX, they don't create those links to cover and background, so you have to add them manually. For some reason, I think it might have been Yas, which added it, but right now we have the cover, we have the background, we have the notes, and we have the song, and we can fire up Little Karaoke for the last time.
Sorry, this is a development version, so ignore that.
Yeah. We'll try again, and if everything went correctly, we should see the song being as it should be. Yes, you can see the cover art there, and when you open it up, you can see the background is there. And that is all. The song is done, and we can submit it to the Little Karaoke team, and it will be, or probably will be, later added to the game itself. So I'll just switch back to the presentation.
A little tidbit about quality assurance for yourself. So I, for myself, do not submit songs until I can sing them at around 9,000 points on medium or over 9,500 in easy. So if you can sing them correctly, and you can sing them that well, that means that the song itself is good.
Yeah.
So the song file.
It's always useful to sing them at least once after you're done, so that you can hear or see whether there's something that is not supposed to be there. Because if you sing it in the karaoke, you see how you sing it, you see the notes, you see the lengths, and you can you basically have the experience that the player would then have and can check for everything. So, does anybody have any questions to what we said, to what we do? Anything?
Sorry, what do you mean? Yes, actually you can already just copy it on a USB flash drive and it's already portable. The only thing that will not work is that the automatic updater will not work. And also if you double click a file, it will not automatically install it into that folder because Windows doesn't know where to install it. Next question? Yes.
For instance, you guys have songs with you guys check
when you submit the songs on the forums, somebody takes them and puts them to a work in progress or quality control, whatever the folder is called, folder on our OnCloud, and we check it, we try to play it, see if there's errors, and then we can get back to the person, tell him, this is fine, we accept it, or there's this thing, and this thing, you can try to fix that, and we'll see again. So yes, there is quality control.
That is rolled up against possible computers being submitted.
Well, we have everything in the forum, so if you submit, you should check it before, and usually if we see there's a double submit, then we will just write it in there. It's just a usual forum like the Bronies.de or Eurobronies forum, so everyone can write there if they want, and they just have to register before. Next question? Yes?
Once again, I'd like to ask about the resolution. Is it a rigid 16th grid? Or are you more flexible, like shuffling, like triplets? Is that possible?
You mean for the song selection?
No, I mean for the notes. Is it 8th notes? Is it 16th notes? Is it 30? Is whatever 16th notes maybe?
You mean the lowest possible resolution of the notes?
Yep.
That is determined by the BPM, as you saw in the grid. As much detailed as you make the grid, then the note itself can be one piece of the grid, and it depends on how big you make the grid. So if you have a song with 100 BPM and you go up to 800 in the editor, then the grid increases 8 times. There's 8 times more spaces, and the resolution of the note increases 8 times. So in theory, the shortest possible note would be infinitely small, but of course this is technically limited, so...
Yeah, the smallest would be about 1/1000th of a second, maybe. But usually you don't want your notes to be that short. So you enter the beat per minute, and then because the singing usually is not, when you play on an instrument, you can have a lot more changes and precise changes than what you do at singing. And you don't want the singing to be too difficult, so you just make a sort of work. And also you give the player a possibility to maybe set in and sing the correct note a tiny bit later, but still get full points.
So in other words, it is a 16th note grid, and you basically have to cheat if you want something different, if you want something faster, or if you want triplets. If you have let's say you have a shuffled 140 beats per minute song, and you need the shuffled triplets. You have to go to 210 BPM.
Yes.
Okay.
But basically what this means is that whatever the singer sings, you can make a note that will be correct to that.
My experience is that usually if you use something between 260 and 400 beat per minute just in the game as beat per minute, then you'll get it quite good playable.
Maybe, but if you are a nitpicking musician yourself and you want the tempo in your My Little Karaoke song to be the exact same as in your production, then that can be quite limiting. But anyway.
Yes, that's true. Yes. More muffins? Sure, whoever brings them. I like them. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, we accept donations in form of muffins and images of their behoofs.
But we do not accept any money or anything.
Yeah, like 8 years ago, the song that was created by, there's an option to input a MIDI file, which basically makes a pitch and those things. I mean, is it used, or you have a better option like this? Or?
It is still in there, but the last time I tried it, it worked a little funny.
Yeah, I fixed that yesterday, but it's still in development, so there's this very old feature, so you can import from MIDI, but I didn't see much use of it. Not many people use it, but if you want, you can now use it.
Yeah, well, like the time when there was like SingStar 80s and those things, then people convert into songs which already have because just asking if there's this feature you use it for.
Since it didn't work for me, I think what I ended up doing was writing my own script, which did the conversion, and it worked, but that was some time ago, and I have no idea where the script went.
Then I'm sorry, but our time has run out, so thanks a lot for listening to our presentation. We hope it, and if you have more questions, feel free to ask us. And also on mylittlekaraoke.com you can get the game, and there's also a link to our forum, and we are really happy about new help.
And also don't forget to come downstairs to the karaoke room and sing with us. Thank you.